Hello, and welcome to my new Pokemon Go channel, I guess. I've been wanting to do Pokemon Go related stuff for a while, but had a bunch of things preventing me from doing so. And now I finally figured, hey, let's give it a shot. So, if you like PvP, probably Sylph tournaments and such in the future, and assuming you and anyone else might actually want to watch these, hopefully some kind of custom-based tournaments in the future, then consider, sticking around if you like it. Feel free to, by the end of it, if you enjoyed it, drop a like, a comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I don't know. It's up to you. But I wanted to start out with initially a team that I kind of threw together in the beginning of Season 7. It consists, first of all, of Ninetales, which I just built as the season ended, and my Jellicent, which I got from the last season, but I never got to test it out. So I threw them into a team randomly, beginning of the season, with Medicham. It's the team that I've been playing the most throughout the season, and I'll show you in the end of the video. I've played a little bit with other teams as well, but this team had, surprisingly to me, more than 70% win rate. So I'll just take you through a few of the battles that I did last night. I got a lot of much better matchups than I usually do, but this team just has a way of clawing itself back from the brink of destruction, basically. But let's get right into it. Have a look at what this team can do. So, our first battle here, we are gonna be going up against a Sumaril, yeah. So this is generally not a very good matchup. I'm trying to throw the Dazzling Gleam here. They generally don't shield the first one, so that's what I'm going for there, and then I immediately go for a Play Rough on Jellicent. But he charged up to the Hydro Pump, and he actually threw it, which you should never do if you're a Sumaril player. Just go Play Rough. I Shadow Ball here. They tend to not shield this, but he chose to. And I'm thinking, I want to preserve Jellicent. I don't know what he has in the back. And he does have Play Rough, so he definitely misplayed initially. He chooses here to let a Sumaril go down. And in comes a Cradily, which isn't great for us. Medicham is a better swap in on Cradily, but I figured I'd just use Ninetales to pressure whatever's there. See if I could lure something else out. And here, I'm not gonna, I guess he didn't charge her. He just wanted to farm me down, which was a good play on his part. And I'm thinking here, either we do some chip damage, or we actually take out the Marowak. But no, he chooses to spend his energy. And I guess I really wanted another Bubble Beam here. So here, I just don't want to bother wasting any more time with that, and I just sacrifice Jellicent. Come in with Medicham. I know the Marowak is low on the back, and it just threw its energy, so. Here, I'm actively choosing not to charge up my Power Punch, because I figured I could counter that down, and I should have just enough chip damage to get Marowak down as he gets to a move. So, that's a good game on game number 1. Kind of came back from a less than ideal matchup there. And here in the second game, we're against the Galvantula. And Galvantula has a pretty good matchup with my whole team. So I just wanted Ninetales in there. But as he goes Pelipper, I'd rather just preserve Ninetales for the Galvantula and use something that has a better matchup. Or a worse matchup with Galvantula. Now, I was actually surprised here because they don't usually shield the Shadow Ball. And they do tend to throw Hurricane early, which is why I shielded. So this is a little bit weird of a game on both sides. I think this is the only person who's actually double shielded Shadow Balls on a Pelipper ever against me. But this is just a Weather Ball, so we should be fine here. and he actually swaps into Galvantula after dumping his shields or her shields. So that means that Galvantula is almost dead, and Ninetales can just come in and sweep it. That was a questionable play, I would say. But he has a Talonflame in the back, and Jellicent is low, so I go into Medicham, kind of my only call here. I'm thinking it's a Brave Bird, but you know, he lowers his defense. I'm just hoping this Weather Ball is enough to actually deal with the Talonflame. And yes, we take it down with 2 extra fast moves, which is great. And then we can safely get to the Weather Ball and take out the Pelipper. So that's another thing with this team that I've been a little concerned with. Took a few days of break, but coming back to a lot of Talonflames, I was thinking this could be rough, but Ninetales handled that very well. So, there's obviously a bunch of different Hypno lineups. I'm hoping this isn't Hypno double dock, so I'm keeping Ninetales in here because I don't want to swap into anything that's too bad right away. And we see that he has Fire Punch, which I kind of feared. So I'm gonna try to actually catch the Fire Punch here on my Jellicent, and it works out. Now, I tend to use Jellicent as a safe swap, and you often run into this exact situation where you just get, well, often you're countered in the lead with Ninetales because there's a lot of things that have a good matchup with it. But Jellicent just is almost always weak to something in the back or has a neutral matchup. But I don't really mind here. I'm just gonna Bubble Beam and try to debuff the Umbreon a bit. I don't actually know. I think I'm probably gonna go, yeah, Medicham. That makes sense. And now we use Ninetales to just finish off the Hypno. I know this game was pretty close, and it is the double dock line that a lot of people are running. And we really needed Ninetales there, seeing as this was the lineup. But I'm thinking maybe there's still play here. And if we can just get a few power up punches rolling rather, then maybe Medicham can do some work here. The good thing about it is the fact that Dag is just neutral against Medicham. But these foul plays are going to add up, so it's basically just a race to getting to the charge moves first. And yeah, he obviously blocks that. And this shouldn't KO. No, but it's a last resort, not a foul play, so it actually does a little bit more. But that was a really good game. That was a very, very close game as well. So this is obviously a very neutral matchup, and we're both running Powder Snow. So I know this is either a Psyshock or a Weather Ball. I was expecting a Weather Ball bait. But I'm just gonna, because I'm thinking like he might know this is Dazzling Gleam, so I baited there. And here I'm just expecting another Psyshock, and I'm thinking I can probably barely survive it. But he's just baiting. And since we're playing the bait game, I'm just gonna throw a Gleam at him, and boom, there we go. And again, bad matchup with the Sumeru, so we swap quickly. And again, this is why Jellicent is a risky safe swap, because we immediately get a Dark type in. Like, the counters aren't gonna do much, but that means that Scrafty can actually just farm a lot of energy as well. So we're just gonna keep debuffing it with our Bubble Beams. And he's probably gonna throw another foul play, yeah, and it's just enough to KO us. So we're just gonna hop in here with Medicham and farm down. This is a double debuffed foul play. We saw in the last match, like, Medicham can actually take it. So I figured, yeah, let's just go for it. So we Psychic and he shields, but we get the defense drop. So normally a Psychic will do against a non-XL Sumeru just under half its health. So I'm thinking here, like, we just go for the bait, because no matter what, I will need the extra chip damage from counter. So let's get the attack booster going. And I'm thinking probably an Ice Beam, but I wasn't counting in this match, I remember. So I just threw it. And now we're just going to Psychic. And I was expecting it to KO. It doesn't though, but Ninetales just comes in, kills off a Sumeral, and then here we go, Weather Ball, Scrafty's down, and that is a good game. And then in the final game here of this set, we are going up against a Manibus, so that's a good lead. Like I had some lag here while I was recording, so we just briefly saw the Manibus, but he swapped into Venusaur, which is questionable. We're just gonna shield. I was expecting a Frenzy Plant, but I wasn't sure with the lag, and it's gonna do a lot anyway. So this is it's a pretty good matchup still. Like Stunfisk will eventually beat Ninetales, but we can do a lot of chip damage. But I have Jellicent, and I know it's a Manibus in the back, so I'm thinking we'll just sack Jellicent here. There's no reason to align that with the Manibus. And no matter what here, like we're winning switch. So now we have a debuff Manibus, and we can come into it with Ninetales. And if he swaps, we can just have Medicham set on the Stunfisk. So we are in a pretty good spot here, although he is very happily holding on to his shields. So Jellicent goes down, and Ninetales comes in, shoots off a Weather Ball, and he really doesn't want to shield. I guess because he doesn't know what I have in the back. He's just not sure what his win condition is yet. So he swaps, and we immediately counter swap. And this is just Rock Slide. Like at this range, I think his only win condition would probably have been to throw an Earthquake there. Or at least the most obvious one. And I mean, this is probably just another Rock. No, this is actually the Earthquake. So he did have the Earthquake, which is interesting. And depending on the IVs, Medicham can actually beat Manibus if it's running Ice Punch. But seeing as I'm not, and I have Ninetales, which is why I'm not running it, I am just thinking like, yeah, we'll just go in here. And to be fair, I probably misplayed there. I could probably just have farmed it down. But I figured as soon as I threw the first Weather Ball, like, let's commit. And that is basically... obviously this is a good set, but in general, I've only once had a set with this lineup that wasn't positive. Whenever I swap to teams that should make more sense, I had more losses. So, like, this is the team I've mostly played, and as you can see here, I've been doing pretty well with this team, which is like 90% of my battles roughly. And here I am again. So that was basically just my little showcase of what I've been using pretty successfully, I would say, in this season. So if you enjoyed that video, if you might want to try it out yourself, feel free to let me know. Let me know if you think another moveset or anything else goes well with this team, because I really enjoy both Ninetales and Jellicent, although I feel like they have a lot of not ideal matchups in the current meta. Otherwise, any kind of feedback, anything you want me to know, just drop it in the comments, and I hope to see you next time. And of course, if you have any suggestions as to anything funny and spicy I might want to use, feel free, because I've powered up so much crap that I'm probably not going to use otherwise. Right, thanks for watching, and have a good day.